Hello there, French Vinyl coming out in another video. Once again, I will be reviewing the purchase I made last month. So this is a April finds kind of video. It's been a pretty good month as far as I'm concerned. I was lucky I took a trip to Toronto. So I met up with Brian and Brian Robot. A very cool discussion we had. And I order some stuff online. I had my birthday, so I will be showing two copies I get for my birthday from my wife and my friend. So and yeah, it's been a pretty interesting Toronto, great city. As I said, Brian, he's got a great channel, so please check it out. And Brian Robot, that's the name of his channel. He had recommended me a couple of record store back in the day. I think a couple of months ago we've been discussing together, and yeah, Toronto downtown. It's pretty blessed with a lot of cool places when it comes to record shopping, Sonic Boom, Cosmos for jazz, and Rotate this amongst other. So yeah, let's start with the first one. This is some copy I got for my birthday. This is a present, my good friend Raul. So very cool. He gave me that copy of Iron Maiden. This is very symbolic. He's originally from South America, so yeah, he's very friendly. So we discuss a lot about music, and yeah, this is some live album. I think they recorded that in 2011 in the Estadio Nacional del Chile in Chile. Iron Maiden, you find all the classics. They on three. This is a triple box set, I would say. So yeah, it's a cool souvenir. So remember, I have from my childhood since I was very into Iron Maiden back in the days. The next one is another copy I got from my birthday last month. So this is my wife. She offered me that copy of PG Harvey, and yeah, the reason is pretty simple. I was looking for new stuff online, and I remember a lot of VC channels, Basement 45, Pete, so in Germany, and Mike Spiral Vinyl. I think there were a lot of people, of course, in all over the world, but those people are particularly mention this album as their favorite releases 2023. So I just took a chance and didn't know much about PG Harvey stuff or material. And I have to say it's pretty interesting. It's very ambient to my ears. Um, yeah, it's not something typical I'm used to listen. It's far from the electronic or prog genre I'm into right now, but I can really appreciate her work. It's a very pleasant album. Yeah, I would say it's ambient, but it's also well structured in my ears. I couldn't define if it's really pop or rock or avant-garde. I wouldn't actually say that. And but I yeah, I give it a several spin. I think just to give a to have a better idea, and yeah, it's I would say ambient or yeah, pop ambient, maybe kind of stuff. So this is PG Harvey. Now I made and purchase. I order online a couple of copies, so still always the same place. Flashback Records, yeah, record store in London, in UK. They had amazing stuff online, so I jumped on that occasion once again. Starting with a very beautiful copy of Caravan. So the yeah, debut one of the early material Caravan, Canterbury scene, such of Soft Machine, very. I think it's a must have when it comes to the prog genre. Very jazz orientated. It has this distinctive sound of the piano they had on the in the Land of Pink and Grey, which is a pretty more common album in every prog nerds collection. And yeah, it's as I said, it's a typical early 70s prog psych with some psych element, and beautiful first press UK first press release on the Decca label, and the copy is near me, so I jumped on that occasion. Now something different, still from Flashback Records. They had this compilation. This is pretty interesting as well. We've been discussing with Stunty, for instance, Stunt Rock Confusion, and Fred, Big Star 1000. We have this now with this regularly chit chat behind the scene, and we exchange about krautrock, about electronic music, all these influences from Germany. And yeah, I was really happy to find this compilation that cover mainly mid 70s, early 80s krautrock electronic stuff. So you have like Can, Amondul, just name a few, Harald Grosskopf, and other contributor to what Germany made in the electronic to the contribution. The next one is a classic album I didn't have in my collection. This is Supertramp, and yeah, I jumped on that occasion. Pretty mean copy, first UK press as well. I do have the Breakfast America, the Even a Quietest Moment in my collection. I didn't have for some reason that one in my collection. So, and yeah, this is not my favorite prog band, but I recently rediscovered their first album, their debut album, and I would say it's a pretty interesting. It's very underrated. We don't often mention early Supertramp when it comes to the prog genre. So yeah, I simply jumped on that occasion as well. Now, those are records I found when I was in Toronto last week. So, as I said, I met up with Brian, and he recommended me a very cool place called PVC Records. This is not in Toronto downtown. This is in very close in the suburban area in Mississauga or Etobicoke. I don't remember, but they had a very interesting store with used stuff, new stuff, merch as well. And yeah, I could find some really interesting stuff as well. Starting with that one, this is a compilation. This is the ska compilation, the Vault Federal Records. They were a couple of iconic label back in Jamaica, pre Bob Marley, pre reggae stuff, such as Trojan. I think Trojan is the most iconic. And yeah, those are. This is a compilation with some cool stuff from the blast from the past. I would say, Jackie Opel, just to name a few. 30 Nelson, Scatterlights. Jackie Opel, I really like the voice, the soulful voice had. And yeah, I'm really happy. So just to go back in those crazy time prior, as I said, prior island reggae era. Now something different, still from the same place. This is John Prime. This is an album mentioned by Elliot Cruz. So I often participate in Ian Ranking the Obscure. He's got a great channel and a weekly live stream with a fellow member from the UK vinyl community. And Elliot once talked about that one. Elliot Cruz, once again, great channel. Check it out. Yeah, this is a folk. This is Americana. This is a debut album from 1970. From John Prine, and yeah, it is interesting. I don't have a lot of typically Americana stuff. Sam St. John often mentioned those genres. Very underrated artist. I've never heard of John Prine. Prine moving to North America, so just give a try, and it's a pleasant record. It's not copying whatever, the Donovan or Bob Dylan or even Johnny Cash or whatever they named. He does that in his own way. So very pleasant, very smooth, very not South American, but southern part from the United States to my ears. So this is John Prine. The next one is an EP. Yeah, from the Clash. This is the Radio Clash, so you know the band The Clash. This is a Canadian pressing. For some reason, they had two copies in the store, so yeah, I jumped on that occasion. Have it for a very good price. The Radio Clash. Another band from the UK. This is Wire, and yeah, we talk about Wire with Stunty. We had a great conversation about punk stuff. And I didn't know much about that band to be honest, and so I think the day before I just discussed with Stunty, and he gave me advice to maybe check it out, Wire, what they made back in the day. So it's not an album; it's an EP as well. 1987. Yeah, very cool post-punk stuff from the UK. So as the next one, which is the Fall band. Still, I didn't know much about. I made a lot of blind purchase last month. Since I started to do streams, discovering new stuff, talking with the people. This is what a community is all about. So yeah, the early Fall. It's not an album. It's really pretty weird. It's written or I think on the other sticker it's written UK press, although it's written made in France on the label, and it's not an album. This record has been released in 1981, and it's a sort of collection of outtakes, let's say songs released or recorded between 1977 and 1979. The Fall band probably I'm not sure if they were successful in the US, maybe probably in Canada, but probably not in the US. I never hear these bands being played on the classic rock radio station over here, but they were certainly important as a post-punk contributor in the UK back in days. So, and yeah, now we was in Toronto. I was say a couple 2 or 3 days, so I could really have taken advantage of that time. Sorry, over there to go digging, and the biggest record store is it's a place called Sonic Boom. So if you follow Brian's channel and Brianic Robot, he often mentions this crazy store, crazy place. They have pretty much everything: CD, used vinyls as well, new releases, merch, and it's a great place to go. Record shopping, quite expensive, I would say, and yeah, they have a really cool, amazing stuff. And something very interesting, during the last live stream I was happy to host with Rolf. Rolf is a record store owner and manager in the Netherlands, and yeah, he was like a zillion of time back in the days in South America, in Bogota, in Chile, in Ecuador, to go for a record digging. And we asked Rolf a question: what he was the best memory he has in terms of what is the holy grail, the best, the most expensive records he was able to find and to sell in store in Europe. And he was mentioning that band. This is a reissue, obviously. This is the original press. I think he was mentioning something about $1,500, something. He was able to find an OG copy of that one, and crazy Peru, Argentina, early 70s band. This is a Black Sabbath met budgie with a lot of psych, hard blues. It is incredible, and I could find the reissue because Sonic Boom has a great world music section, and they had a section for Peru and for Argentina, and they had a reissue of that one. So this is Tarkus, and if you never heard that, so you can just give a try. And Jose Moreno Ran, he has a great channel as well, and sometimes he's been trying to do some live stream as well, and playing some all of these obscure South American music. So you can give a try to his channel. I'm not sure if he played lately Tarkus, but this is the kind of genre he really likes. So you can find obscure prog from Mexico and South America if you watch his streams. Next one is another iconic artist when it comes to the prog, when it comes to the contemporary scene. I'm talking about Robert Wyatt. This is his album released in 1975, and Robert Wyatt is a very underrated artist. Very important. As you know, he started with Soft Machine, then he disbanded, or he left the band. I think his most iconic album named Rock Bottom, and this was released in 1975, and it's very interesting. It's very jazz oriented, very smooth. He doesn't do too much, doesn't make too much, too much effect, too much. It's not about the performance. It's really this is, to my ears, is a very balanced jazz fusion rock with prog hints record. So this is Ruth is Stranger Than Richard. Released in 1975. This is UK press as well. So Robert Wyatt. And the final store I went to rotate this. That's the name of the place in Toronto. Not very downtown, very close to the Bellwood Park. Very cool place. The second time I went there, very cool staff, friendly, and I found some cool stuff as well. Starting with something not very obscure. This is a band. They were formed, I think, in France, or these people where I came seeing. I think she came from Spain. The other two gentlemen, they came from South America, and they formed, I think, in France. They were quite popular in France back in the days. My parents has a lot of those records, Los Machucambos, and this is a record. This is an album recorded live, Olympia. That's the famous venue in France, in Paris. Not a big venue, but it's quite iconic with all the theater. A lot of great artists started their or had a boom at the moment in their career, such as Gilbert Bécaud or Edith Piaf. Very iconic. The Beatles, they played also in Olympia when they came over in 1964. And so this is Los Machucambos, and it's interesting. They have a lot of different approach. They sing in Portuguese, so obviously homage to the Brazilian traditional music, and cumbia as well. If cumbia, obviously a genre popular not in every country of South America, like bachata, for instance. So it's pretty interesting to find this copy, and I paid $10, and it's a near mint copy. So this is Los Machucambos. And the last one I found in that store is a band from. We are back in the UK. We are back in the early 70s, and this is Rare Bird, and it's a very interesting band / album. Very keyboard orientated, very balanced as well. You find you have a lot of harpsichord sound. It's not cheesy at all. It's very mastered, I would say. They didn't have any guitar player. They have a bass player, obviously, but don't have a lead guitar player as the other rock band from the time, which is pretty interesting. And they had, I think, a couple of success, and I'm not sure why, but they disbanded. It's wouldn't say it's prog. It's probably more jazz or classical fusion. Reminds me a bit of Colosseum with more keyboard, obviously. And once again, I was really lucky to find an OG press, Pink Scroll, Charisma label, first UK press. So as you can see, I was pretty lucky. I found a lot of great stuff in April. May will be probably interesting as well, as I'm heading off to France tonight. So I will be spending 2 weeks there. Back in days, back in the roots in my home country. So hope probably swinging by Germany, which is very close to the place where I will stay, and probably I will find some local treasure. So stay tuned. I hope you like it, and stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye bye.